Once upon a time, there was a very friendly boy by the name of Timothy. And he was walking slowly down the hill where Harriet the hare sped past him. And she went, na 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 na, I'm the fastest. And Timothy was frustrated that Harriet was taunting him. At the end of the day, when Timothy arrived at the playground by the river, late as usual, Harriet started teasing him again. And he said, "Ha! With that big, green, heavy shell and that tiny legs that you have, you are the slowest I've seen." And Timothy snapped. "Slow? Let's race. Let's race and find out who's fast." So Freddy the Fox called every animal from the forest and he organized a run. When everyone gathered and Freddy shouted, "On your mark!" Beatrice the bear interrupted. She was giggling. "You can start the race now. Timothy is still coming on his way to the starting line." And as Timothy slowly picked his pace, he looked and said, "I'll get to wherever I want. I'll reach the starting line soon. Just wait." And as he landed on the starting line, all the animals shouted, "Run!" And within a glimpse, Harriet had run far off like a shot, across the meadow, across the playground, and she was almost towards the second half of the race. Freddy was so disappointed. She was rooting for Timothy because she was annoyed by Harriet the hare. She was always showing off how fast she was. But then, since Harriet has been that far, Freddy gathered everyone to walk across, to cut across the meadow, so that they would be able to at least see how Harriet had crossed the finish line. By this time, Harriet had come to a point where she could see the finish line and she decided to stop. Yes. When she looked back, she couldn't see anyone, but she wanted someone to look at her crossing the finishing line. So she took a nap. At the moment, far, far behind was Timothy, who was slowly walking and still saying, "I'll get to wherever I want to. It's just a matter of time." He walked at his own pace, slowly, steadily, walked past the meadow, the playground, and the snoozing Harriet. He didn't want to look her up, so she continued to walk. And as Timothy was approaching the finishing line, all the other animals were cheering, were shouting. And Harriet was a walker. So when she looked, it was that fast, so she started running and chasing so that she could pick up the pace. But as she was about to reach the finishing line, Timothy finally raised his toe from the finishing line. And he was declared the winner. Just Harriet the hare was so frustrated that she started pulling her ears. "No! It can't be! I'm the fastest!" And that night, she couldn't sleep. She went to a corner and she started to do her soul searching. Started asking, why am I this? While thinking, she finally realized that she was overconfident, she was lazy, and she decided, I'm going to ask for a rematch. So Harriet went and looked for Timothy. He challenged Timothy again and said, "We'll run again, this time I'm going to win you." Timothy, in his slow and steady pace, "Alright, tomorrow then." So Freddy the Fox gathered everyone again for the second race. The second race of Timothy and Harriet. This time, as soon as Freddy said, "Run!" Timothy was still as slow as usual, picking up his foot from the starting line. And even before he was able to land the foot 1 feet away from the starting line, Harriet was already almost finishing the whole race because she was determined not to lose again. As she won, she was celebrating and she was declaring that talent would never beat hard work. Then, that night, Timothy was the one who was doing soul searching under this heavy green shadow. And he was thinking, Harriet is running so fast. There's no way that I could beat her. If I could beat her, I must come up with a match that I could win against her. So that night, Timothy took off from his home so that tomorrow he will be able to reach Harriet place. So that he will be able to challenge Harriet for a third match. And this time around, Harriet, after winning the second match, understanding that as long as she's committed, she will win. So Harriet looked at Timothy and said, "Sure, why not? We're going to run again. I'm definitely going to win you again this time." But Timothy, at his own slow and steady pace, alright. But, however, there's a slight change in the route. Harriet didn't ask anything and just agreed. So the next day, they started the race with Freddy the Fox gathering everyone again. This time, Beatrice the bear was standing there. She was cheering, but then she knew that there's no way Timothy is going to win this race. Everyone was rooting for Timothy. As soon as Freddy the Fox started the match, go! Everyone was running. Harriet was running as fast as she could until she came to a river. That river is the only distance between her and the finishing line. And as she looked back, she still couldn't see Timothy. Timothy, with his own usual pace, is still walking slow and steady. And at that particular time, Harriet couldn't do anything, and all she could do was just sit and wait. And she was thinking, how am I going to cross the river? And as she was thinking and thinking and thinking, Timothy slowly and steadily walked past her into the river, swam across the river, came out of the river, and across the finishing line. And yet Harriet was sitting there thinking, what I have done. She lost the race again. By this time, Harriet and Timothy have been good friends because they have been competing against each other for not one time, 2 times, but 3 times. That night, both of them do soul searching together. This time, for one common goal, to be the best running partners, to have the best time. So the next day, they gathered everyone in the forest again. But this time, Harriet was declaring, we are going to run this race together, and we will set the record for the fastest time to finish this race. So when Freddy the Fox started the match, go! Harriet punched down and carried Timothy on his back, on her back, and then she started running. And upon she reached the river, she stopped so that Timothy would be able to get into the river. And this time, Timothy would carry Harriet on his back. After coming out of the river, Harriet picked up Timothy again and ran fast towards the finishing line. And they set the world record for running through the jungle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, contest season is coming. And for the last 1.5 years, UBD has been there. All of you have been competing against each other. At times, we were the tortoise, at times we were the hen. At times we had that talent, but then we couldn't win. At times we worked hard and won. But then, the greatest victory will come when we do not see each other as rivals, but as peers. Because only you can bring the best out of each other. And from that, you will be able to get the best out of UBD Club. Because you do not want just to have anyone to represent your club, you want the best. So with that, I hope you will be able to learn from this little story that you do not compete alone, you compete together. Thank you very much. Thank you.